a short talk on life and the scales of life and mind, and how it is a preposterous thought to think that life stops at the human scale, or a being scale that we're used to seeing. So we could say a whale or an elephant. It's much larger. But even this is a ridiculous concept when we consider what life really is. We cannot make distinctions between life and mind. They are inseparable. But unlike life, minds are nested informationally, nested through agent to environment, agent to environment. The growth of mind happens bottom up, from small molecular scales and fields to larger fields and larger scales of molecular complexity. Life scales bottom up because it has to reach goals that cascade top down through the mind. And so if we have to create a model of what life actually is, we cannot exclude minds. So we couldn't just focus on chemistry or metabolic functions, as these things are excluding the processes and dynamics that are involved with the mind and the environments. So, a model of life has to allow for the existence of self-replicating chemical life and the mind. Without mind, there actually is no memory, therefore no pattern recognition, prediction, instinct, or method of goal attainment. The mind starts at the molecular level as fields that is coupled to the molecular type and the patterns involved. Also the behavior, the molecular behavior in the environment, the pattern of the molecule will dictate its behavior in the environment. Life with the mind is the ability to maintain attention over time, creating memory and predictability. It has to be able to predict. Recognizing itself as an agent in an environment and being capable of attaining goals. The relational dynamics intrinsic in life are inseparable from mind. It is the goals of mind that cascade top down that govern the expression of life required per environment. Environments are nested. Life is an expression of mind. Life persists and self-replicates through a restrictive sensory bandwidth to grow the mind memory, which in turn helps direct life's evolutionary arrow. No mind, no memory, no life. Mind is essential and primary. Life has to have goals that embed into an alignment with the environment and mental goals. This is why life, or agent or observer, is the result of nested environments. Biochemistry is simply the result of mental to mental causal mechanics and dynamics. The mechanisms derive from goals and constraints, which are set by the mind and the environment. Here are some steps in how life scales through environment. So observer or agent to environment, in a nested Russian doll recursive kind of manner, each with their necessary coupled level of mind, the mind that is able to attain the information of the environment, understands the goals, its own goals and the goals of the environment. So life has something to aspire to, we could say. Firstly is atoms to molecules. This is through fields. There is a field, it recognizes the environment, and the atoms form the relationship of the molecule, so the exact configuration for that molecule in that field required. Second is molecules to bacteria and single cells, similar things. For the same reasons, the field is just more complex now, slightly larger. We have to understand that minds operate from fields, from the mental layer, through fields, through physics, to chemistry. Then we have cell to organism, organism to organisms, organisms to planets, planets to stars, stars to galaxies, galaxies to universe, and universe to multiverse. Now I started small and got larger. We went bottom up, as this is how life appears to us. But life is only adhering to goals that are scaled top down. So these are not the essential order. Bottom up is not the essential order. This is just the way things are built. Planets to stars, stars to galaxies, galaxies to universes, universe to multiverse. Excluding the multiverse, the mind or minds that are responsible for directing galactic and stellar organization and configurations is the cosmic web, or what I sometimes refer to as cosmic mycelium. A neural network as the body of minds reaching goals attained through memory and prediction on a universal scale. The cosmic web is a configuration of minds where they all join together to reach goals. The largest connected organism that we have on Earth is mycelium networks, some of them spreading over multiple countries, unbroken, sending signals constantly back and forth, connecting all the plants and trees that they're involved with. Information being transferred back and forth. And the cosmic web is no different. Not topologically, it looks very similar, and its nature is also similar. This will also be most likely the candidate for what we call dark matter. This is gravitational influences from gigantic helical structures we call the cosmic web, in which galaxies are nested along through the helical structures. These helical structures are spinning, creating gravitational forces. Also, gravity itself is a constraint by larger minds. The friction or the boundary of gravity in any given environment is to constrain light, It's the limit on light that can be passed around in that particular system. From the perspective of larger mind, gravity is a limit on light. And I think I will just stop there. I think some of these concepts are already radical enough, but I also believe that over time we will understand most of these things to be true, but it might take some time, because we are not even close to understanding minds or the spectroscopic abilities to even witness what is really going on and understand gravitational lensing or gravity at all, actually. So yeah, if you made it this far, thanks for listening.